Hello Professor, this is Jingyan, and my topic is Google Earth implementation. Today I will introduce you with the extensions part of Google Earth animation. Now let's take a quick view of the overall objectives and plan. As I mentioned last time, the first part showing marker in Google Earth, the second part getting information from the server, the third part display animation have all been finished in last weeks. So in this week, I mainly work with the extensions part, which includes adding the timeline and showing the separate animation for each patient and responder. And these two parts also been finished in this week. Now let's take a look at previous work. Last time I mentioned that I finished the part of displaying animation. The animation includes showing the movement of responders and patients, which includes the patient triage and evacuate sequence. So in this week, I mainly work with the extension part for the animation. The extension part includes showing a timeline and showing the animation for each responder or patient. Now let's take a look at the timeline part. In the timeline part, first of all, you would notice that there is a text box and two buttons. The text box enables the user to input the self-defined speed, and each number in the text box represents the reality seconds with respect to 1 second in the Google Earth. For example, if you can see this number means that 1 second in the Google Earth represents 1 year in reality. If you click the second play, the animation will be showing in this speed. And now let's take a look at the second part. The second part is the timeline bar. I will take a detailed view in this later. And the third part shows the position status of responders and patients. As you can see in the figure, there are two responders in this task, and at this time, no patients has been triaged. Now let's take a detailed view of the timeline. The functionalities achieved by the timeline includes 5 parts. The first part is to show, I will introduce this one by one. The first part is to show the timestamp in the time slider. As you can see in the timeline bar, this part of letters shows the current time in reality of the animation. And if you drag the slider forward or back, it will show the time will become differently with respect to the reality time. Now let's take a look at the second function, which is to adjust the start time of animation, which is also achieved by the slider. If you put the slider forward and click the play button, the animation will be displayed from the time where the slider was. And the third function is to show the position status of responder and patients at a specific time. For example, if you put a slider at this time and you don't click the play button, the position of responders and patients will be displayed in the Google Earth for this specific time. The first part is to speed up or slow down the animation playback speed. As I mentioned before, you can achieve this by 2 ways. The first way is to click these 2 buttons. If you click the the button with the plus marker, it will extend the time showing in the timeline, so it will slower. So for a timeline time, it will show a longer time in reality. With another word, it's kind of slower the animation. If you click this one, it will speed up the animation, which I will show you clearly in the demo. Besides, you can also adjust the speed by input self-defined speed right here, and then click the set and play. Then the animation will be showing with respect to the speed you defined in the text box. The fifth function is the self-defined animation playback speed. As what I mentioned, is achieved by this part. Now let's take a view of the next extension, which is to show the animation for different responders and patients. In this part, the most important function is to display animation for any chosen responder or patient separately. And I will also show this in the demo. Besides, we can also display the animation for all responders and the patients after we display the animation for separate responder or patient. For example, if you click any responder right here, and a dialog will show up to remind you that you can display the animation for only this responder. If you click here, and then the animation will only show the responder. So, which is very helpful for analyzing the task of this responder. So if the user wants to take a view of any responder or any patient, he can achieve by this. Besides, after taking a view of a separate responder or patient, he can also come back to play all the patients and the responders by clicking this button. For the record, if you play the animation for any separate responder or patient, the timeline is also applicable. It's also feasible for this. For my future work, since I already finished every basic part I was planned, so for my future part, if allowed, I would add virtual data to make the movement of patients and responders smoothly. For now, the animation of the responders and the patients is not perfect because the data we got is like periodically, not smoothly. So if I add some virtual data respect to the real data, I can make the animation smoothly, but may not be so truly. And the second part I wanted to do is to apply an algorithm to optimize the task procedure. Since I already know the position of different patients and responders, with respect to the actual task, what I want to do is to simulate an optimized task procedure, applying with some algorithm, and then I can compare it with the actual task as a forensic tool. But I think maybe we need to discuss about this. Thank you. Now let's take a look at the demo part. If you run the code, in the Google Chrome, as you can see, this is the timeline part. And from the timeline, we know that the task starts from 9 a.m. and ends at 11 a.m. So if you click the play part, the play button, you can see the play of everything, but it's too quick. So if you want to slow down the pace, you can click the plus button. And then if you notice that the start time and the end time is changed, because I already extended the time period in the timeline. So at this time, if you click the play button, you would know that the move respectively slower than what it was. Now if you move the slider and click the again, it would show the animation start from this time. If you don't play it, you would know at this time these two responders are located here. This is the position of these two responders. So if you move the slider forward and then play it, the responders are still here and no patients have been triaged. I think this is when the responders are discussing about how to triage these patients. So if you can see, they start to triage the patients. Now if you can take a quick view of this part, the text box allows the user to choose the speed he wants. So if he chooses 60, it means that in 1 second, 1 second in the Google Earth will show 1 minute in reality. So if you set and play the animation speed, it will be like this. And if you put it quicker, like 1 second in Google Earth represents for it's 1 hour in reality. If you set and play, this movement will be really quick. So if you want to take a quick view of any responder or any patient, you click the responder and press the button play only. It will only show the movement of the responder. If you come to the beginning, as you can see, it only shows the movement of the responder. And if you want to show everyone, you just click the play all button. So everyone will show up again. So for my future work, as you can see in the animation. Also, I can achieve the animation from the Google Earth, but the data I got from the server is not enough for displaying them smoothly. So what I want to do next time, the first one is to add some virtual point, which will help us show the animation of responder and patient smoothly. And the second one is I wanted to apply some algorithm, like given the position of responders and the patients, applying to some algorithm such as shortest path or something better. I can simulate or optimize task procedure. I hope it will be helpful for the user to analyze the task. Thank you.